Alright guys, I am back with another chapter in Joshua. We are in Joshua chapter 6, where the header reads, The Fall of Jericho. And so, I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you hear some thundering and rumbling, it is just some horrible weather outside, but I'm here late again tonight. Yes?
Just me.
You're good?
Just to let you know, so update, my brother-in-law is a storm chaser.
Yeah.
There was a tornado in Mendon and Leonis in between, so.
Fantastic.
Headed this way.
Alright.
So.
Did they say how bad?
It's perfect supercell.
Okay. So it should get exciting.
Yeah, so maybe when. Start looking outside some more.
100%. I mean, I'll get away from the window. That's about all I can do.
I wouldn't go down to the boiler room if we need to. But
Yeah.
Just heads up.
Appreciate it. All right then. Should be good.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. So, that's not going to stop me at all. That's going to make the video, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Tornado or no tornado, guys. So, I'm here getting ready. I think that we're going to have our girls' varsity basketball here soon. But we'll see if that's weather permitting. Again, they're in districts, so they're going to be playing Concord tonight. Hopefully it goes well. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And, never mind. I appreciate the warning. Again, that was one of my teachers. Fantastic guy. But we're going to go ahead and start reading. Chapter 6, The Fall of Jericho. Here we go. Now the gates of Jericho were tightly shut because the people were afraid of the Israelites. No one was allowed to go out or in. But the Lord said to Joshua, I have given you Jericho, its king, and all its strong warriors. You and your fighting men should march around the town once a day for 6 days. 7 priests will walk ahead of the ark, each carrying a ram's horn. On the 7th day you are to march around the town 7 times, with the priests blowing the horns. When you hear the priests give one long blast on the ram's horns, have all the people shout as loud as they can. Then the walls of the town will collapse, and the people can charge straight into the town. So Joshua called together the priests and said, Take up the ark of the Lord's covenant and assign 7 priests to walk in front of it, each carrying a ram's horn. Then he gave orders to the people, March around the town, and the armed men will lead the way in front of the ark of the Lord. After Joshua spoke to the people, the 7 priests with the ram's horn started marching in the presence of the Lord, blowing the horns as they marched, and the ark of the Lord's covenant followed behind them. Some of the armed men marched in front of the priests with the horns, and some behind the ark, with the priests continually blowing the horns. Do not shout, do not even talk, Joshua commanded. Not a single word from any of you until I tell you to shout, then shout. So the ark of the Lord was carried around the town once that day, and then everyone returned to spend the night in the camp. Joshua got up early the next morning, and the priests again carried the ark of the covenant, the ark of the Lord. The 7 priests with the ram's horn marched in front of the ark of the Lord, blowing their horns. Again, the armed men marched both in front of the priests with the horns and behind the ark of the Lord. All this time, the priests were blowing their horns. On the 2nd day, they again marched around the town once and returned to the camp. They followed this pattern for 6 days. On the 7th day, the Israelites got up at dawn and marched around the town as they had done before. But this time, they went around the town 7 times. The 7th time around, as the priests sounded the long blast on their horns, Joshua commanded the people, Shout, for the Lord has given you the town. Jericho and everything in it must be completely destroyed. As an offering to the Lord, only Rahab, the prostitute, and the others in her house will be spared, for she protected our spies. Do not take any of the things set apart for destruction, or you yourselves will be completely destroyed, and you will bring trouble on the camp of Israel. Everything made from silver, gold, bronze, or iron is sacred to the Lord, and must be brought into his treasury. When the people heard the sound of the ram's horn, they shouted as loud as they could. Suddenly, the walls of Jericho collapsed, and the Israelites charged straight into the town and captured it. They completely destroyed everything in it, with their swords, men and women, young and old, cattle, sheep, goats, and donkeys. Meanwhile, Joshua said to the 2 spies, "Keep your promise. Go to the prostitute's house and bring her out, along with all her family." The men who had been spies went in and brought out Rahab, her father, mother, brothers, and all the other relatives who were with her. They moved her whole family to a safe place near the camp of Israel. Then the Israelites burned the town and everything in it. Only the things made from silver, gold, bronze, or iron were kept for the treasury of the Lord's house. So Joshua spared Rahab the prostitute and her relatives who were with her in the house, because they had hidden the spies Joshua sent to Jericho, and she lives among the Israelites to this day. At that time, Joshua invoked this curse: "May the curse of the Lord fall on anyone who tries to rebuild the town of Jericho. At the cost of his firstborn son, he will lay its foundation. At the cost of his youngest son, he will set up its gates." So the Lord was with Joshua, and his reputation spread throughout the land. Well, that was an eventful video so far. I'm going to go ahead and reflect on Joshua chapter 6, and really one of the more famous stories of the Bible is the walls of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. It's got its own song and everything, but I'm always super interested whenever the Bible gives such specific details as how to execute a specific order. So the specific marching around the town once each day, not saying anything. On the 7th day, do it 7 times and then shout, and then everything will be defeated. Everything will simply just crumble. Part of me, the fleshly part of me, the one that wants, things to make sense, things to fall in line, to be linear, to be easy to understand, to be palatable, to be digestible. Were those 7 times simply, was it just, what's the word I'm looking for? An equation? Is it just an equation? If you did this X, Y, and Z following the Lord, was that simply the outcome? That was the expected outcome? Anything in that direction, if we yelled loud enough, would fall? Or was that simply God's will? Or is it both? I always just ask so many questions whenever I read these things, and I often find more questions than answers, but I love it. I love that constant pursuit, and God just continually kind of just pointing his finger like, just keep walking with me. Just keep walking with me. It'll be all right. I'll give you that discernment, that wisdom when I can, where I can, because obviously only the Father knows. But I love that. Again, I love this story, and I think I might have to find a place to hide potentially soon. So I hear a whole bunch of rumbling. The tornadoes are coming. Have a good night. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll be back for chapter 7 of Joshua, where the header reads, "I defeats the Israelites." It says AI, but I can't imagine that they're referring to AI, obviously. But on that note, have a good night. God bless. And I'm going to get away from my window here in my office. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.